All right, lady in law school. All right, Nene, maybe this is for you. What's up, Billy Butterballs? I'm 27 and a fellow Hockomock alum. I just moved down to CT from Connecticut, okay, from Boston for law school. There's this girl who I hit it off with right away. She's beautiful and we really click. I found out she had a boyfriend about 2 weeks into school. Oh, about 2 weeks into school and backed off. But there was still little subtle hints that she was into me. Fast forward to our school Halloween party mid-October. She gets hammered and tells me to man up and make a move. Me, being the sober guy that I am, denied her advances because she's still in a relationship. The following day, she breaks up with the boyfriend, and we ended up making out a couple days later. She soberly confesses her feelings for me, to which I affirm my own. This is going good, right? This was all quality. Everything was above board. Literally 2 days later, she tells me she doesn't want anything romantically and needs to focus on herself. No disrespect to the ladies, but I've been through this shit before. Yeah. Where a newly single girl flip-flops with their feelings. I think everybody flip-flops when they're newly single. My question is, what should I do? I feel like an idiot for telling her how I feel and then getting rejected. You shouldn't. You shouldn't feel. Yeah, you were a man. You said how you felt.
Exactly. And you were very respectful of those relationship boundaries. So I don't think you've done anything wrong here.
He said, on the one hand, I want to say fuck her, but on the other hand, I want to remain friends. I also literally can't avoid her. If you're ever in New Haven, check out The Owl. It's a solid cigar bar. Looking forward to all your new material coming out. Thanks, and go fuck yourself.
I like this guy.
Yeah, here's the deal, dude. It's going to take way too much energy to fucking sit there and try and not to look at her and all of that shit. So just, you said what you fucking felt about her. She's not in that place in her life, so, that's where she's at. You were both honest. Just leave it at that. When you see it, just say, hey, how are you? How you doing? I mean, just keep it at that. How was your weekend? Oh, that's great. And just keep it like that. And
keep it light, but don't get sucked into the... Because who knows? Like, she might try to suck you into the whole...
Of course she's going to.
She feels lonely this weekend.
Of course she's going to.
Let's make out. Oh, my God, too much. Back and forth. Like, it's a slippery slope. So don't get sucked back into it. So be cool. Don't, ignore her. Don't be weird. But don't...
but you know how women are.
Don't try to be friends with this girl.
And the more he fucking stays, though...
Don't try to be friends with her.
The more...
Be friendly.
The more he fucking does that, though, the more she's going to fucking want him, though. That's how it works. If he's just like, look, I respected what you said the other day. I feel like you're in a very highly emotional state where you're going to be flip-flopping and I have to protect myself. So no, I'm busy. I definitely want to be friends with you, but let's just leave it at that. Yeah. That will fucking drive her nuts.
Of course.
And if she keeps saying no, she'll end up blowing somebody else in that class just to get back at him.
Well,
that's what I'm saying.
Let her spiral in her,
I probably shouldn't have said that last shit. I'm just fucking. I was trying to be funny, but no, dude. Okay, you went in. Look how hurt you got 2 seconds into knowing that chick. You want to fucking know her for 4 seconds? You want to keep coming back? I wouldn't. I would just stay friendly with her, and I would leave it at that.
Friendly, but not friends. There's a difference. You don't need to be.
That sounds like an Oprah book. Friendly, but not friends. Ooh, I like that.
Because that's how you get yourself friend zoned as a male or a female. Doing that thing where but we're still friends. No, we're really good friends. No, we're actually really good friends. It's no. If someone has feelings and someone doesn't, or someone has feelings and someone's flip-flopping, you can't be friends only with that person because it's uneven. A friendship is when two people have mutual respect for each other and you're on the same wavelength. You can't fully be friends if one is always pining for the other. That shit just doesn't work. So, at this time in her life, he can't be friends with her. Friendly. What's up? How you doing? How was your weekend? Great. Boom. Moving on. That's it. But he wants to fuck her. So that's the problem.
Yeah.
We'll
let him deal with all of that shit. We just give out information. Neither one of us are professionals. If you want to listen to it, you
can. Not
at
all.
I feel like, hey, there's the lovely Nia.
Hello.
What do you know? So I'm going to tell him the story here. Do you want to jump on?
Okay.
I'm going to tell him the story of that flight.
Oh, yeah.
That I had. You want me to? I'll hit pause here if you want to grab a mic.
You don't have to pause. Keep doing your thing.
Okay. Well, do people really want to listen to you unwrapping that shit? All right, I'll tell you a story. So anyways, Nia was supposed to come out and see me, right? And then for whatever reason, you weren't able to make it out, right?
Right.
For whatever reason.
Whatever reason.
Yeah, whatever reason. The doctor said you're not allowed to fly in your current condition.
That's right.
Yes. So I'm like, all right. I guess I'm out there by myself. And so I was gonna hang out with her on Saturday, go around doing all the dumb shit,
Barbecue.
Yeah, we were going to get barbecue, and then we were going to go to that fucking restaurant that every fucking person goes to that was in that show Nashville that you loved.
The Bluebird Cafe.
All right, the Bluebird Cafe. We're going to do all of that shit, and then at night I was either going to go to the Penguins Predators game or I was going to go to the Vanderbilt football game. But you weren't allowed to go, so I said, fuck it, I'll come back Saturday. Or as they say in Boston, say, right?
That's right.
So I had hang on, let me turn your fucking mic on here. You good?
Yeah. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. So
you like how I'm able just to put the thing together? Like I know how to do it now.
Yes, you do. So anyways, let me tell you. So leaving Nashville, so I go, all right, she can't fly out, so I'll fly back Saturday and I'll hang out with her, right? Mm-hmm. So I go over to the airport. I get there nice and early. I drop off the rental car. I'm all zippity-doo-dah because I'm nice and early. And I get all the way to the gate, long-ass fucking walk, and I realized that I didn't give the car keys to the people there at Budget. I'm like, fuck. So I had to walk all the way back. I wasn't on the other side of security. I just walked all the way back. And then I came, I'm like thinking in my head, see, this is why I leave plenty of time. I'm not losing my temper. Everything's fucking fine. This is the new bill, right? I'm not going to the new bill. I'm not going to be I'm trying to find the humor in things.
Okay.
All right. Like I had my checks for my gigs this week. I go down to the bank tonight because I don't want to deal with the clusterfuck of the bank during the day. With a bunch of people who don't understand how to handle their money. Their money is fucked up, and you're standing behind them in line, and it takes for fucking ever. And they're always yelling through the bulletproof glass at the other person as if that person went out and bought too much shiny shit with their money. Basically speaking, all right? I'm not talking about that Wells Fargo crap with those cunts. What they did. And then they paid off those 5,000 people. Like, all right, get the fuck out of here. Here's a little confidentiality agreement. You guys all collectively yet individually came up with this fucking scam. It wasn't me. Anyways, plowing ahead. So I go down to the bank and it takes, I had like 3 checks. It takes 2 out of 3 and it won't take the last one. And I started to lose it. I distinctly remember slapping the ATM machine and hearing my wedding band ring when I did it. And I was just like, I went up to 8. 8 for me. 12 for any other normal person. But it was an 8 for me. And I was like, Bill, just fucking relax. It's all fine. And I thought about my flight and what the fuck happened. And I was just like, this is really pales in comparison. So here's what happened to my flight. So I get on this fucking flight, right? Sitting up there, first fucking class, right?
First class.
But I have the stressful first class seat. It's the fucking front row. So you got the bulkhead in front of you, which means I always just have a backpack. I always shove it underneath the seat. So I get on the plane fucking relaxed. I don't have to worry about overhead space if somebody shoves 15 coats up there in a child seat, Mm-hmm. But I had the stress because, I didn't have the fucking thing in front of me. So once I got past that stress, I sat down. It's all fucking good. And we're flying back. And all I'm thinking is, fuck, man, I'm getting back. It's fucking football Sunday tomorrow. I'm going to watch the Formula One race. I'm going to watch the Patriots game. I'm going to maybe watch a little Buffalo, Miami. I got my whole thing laid out, right? Maybe catch a late college game. Shit, by the time I land, it's only going to be like 8 o'clock at night. So we fucking go up in the air. We're about 45 minutes into the flight, and I start smelling what smells like burnt popcorn. That's the smell first, and then it gets a little more fucking intense. And I'm kind of looking at the stewardesses. I'm in the first fucking row going, did one of them burn a meal? Yeah. Like, I'm smelling a burning smell, and it's starting to fuck with my eyes a little bit. And I'm not seeing any panic on their faces, so I go, it must be food. because I know I only have a few hours flying with my license, but I know, smoke in the plane is not, it's not a good thing, right?
No.
So everything's going about normally, and then all of a sudden, I feel us descending. And I feel like the fucking wings are doing blah, 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 doing that shit. And I'm like, oh, wow, we must be hitting some rough air. Because then the smoke wasn't as bad, and I was thinking, like, we must be hitting... It wasn't like visible smoke. You could smell it, and I could kind of feel it in my eyes a little bit. How old did I just sound? I could smell it. I felt it in my eyes. It was very uncomfortable. So the fucking wings are, like, doing that shit, and I'm thinking, like, oh, he probably got it, a report that there was some rough air up, then he's going to go underneath it, and then we'll go back up again. And then, like, all of a sudden, my glass with the water started sliding forward. Like, all of a sudden, I was kind of realizing that my chair was we were at like not a 45-degree angle, but we were at we were fucking descending rapidly. And all of a sudden, the stewardess just came up. She goes, can I take your glasses? We're landing. And then I was just like, oh, fuck. Something's on fire.
And the pilot didn't give any announcement,
no, because we were like at 30-something thousand feet, and the second you smell smoke, it's like, I don't know. I guarantee you there were lights lighting up on his little dashboard there, and it wasn't saying check the tire pressure. I don't know what warning lights they have.
He probably didn't want he didn't want everyone to panic, so he's just like, you know what? Let me just land this thing.
No, I think he smelled smoke like there's something on fire and I'm 30,000 feet and I have to get this thing on the fucking ground immediately.
But that's why he didn't say anything, because wouldn't they normally tell you, we're going to descend really quickly because of this, that, and the other?
I had nothing to do with scaring us, and he didn't have fucking time.
Okay.
So he just fucking goes down and I'm just like, oh shit, here we go, right? So the stewardess, I didn't know we were landing because everybody had the shades pulled down. And it wasn't until my glass fucking slid forward that I was like, this guy's really dropping down here. Like, what's going on? So when she came over and she said, hey, we're landing now, right? We're literally 50 minutes in the flight, Nashville to LA, right? The woman next to me goes like, oh my God, we're here already? And I was like, I laughed and I was like, no. I go, we're landing. She goes, where? And I said, well, I looked at my watch and go, I don't know. She fucking lifted up the shade. I saw a river. I go, maybe that's the Mississippi. I'm going to say St. Louis. Turned out it was Little Rock, Arkansas. And she goes, why are we landing? And I was like, well, probably had to do with that. Did you smell that burning smell? She's like, yeah. I go, probably has to do with that. And so she's looking around. I go, yeah, but he had total control of the airplane. But my thing that I was worried about is, I don't know about the mechanics on planes and shit, but if there was something, whatever it burned through, some wire, some hydraulic thing, and all of a sudden he can't control it. And next thing you know, we're upside down, like in that Denzel movie,
Yeah.
Yeah, when you lose the rear stabilizer, the dumbest shit ever, that he's able to flip it back over and land, Hollywood movie. Yeah, once it's up, you're fucked. Nobody can land that. Not even Sully, right? So we start fucking coming in, and we're in Little Rock. I don't know it's Little Rock, and all I see is this fucking river. And, those things you can only see out the side. And I'm just thinking, get it on the ground, just get it on the fucking ground. And all I'm seeing is this fucking... All right, so anyway, I'm almost dying in a plane crash here now. So the fucking thing comes down, and all I see is the river, and that's what I started thinking of. If this motherfucker puts this thing in the water, all right, all I'm thinking is stay conscious. You have to fucking stay conscious, and that fucking door is right around the corner, provided, he doesn't smash the whole thing up and you can't open the door. And then I got to fight my way through all these other fuckers, and I'm going to drown. Mm-hmm. But then I see the runway, he lands the thing, and then just like, please, reverse engines. Those things kicked in. Then once we stopped, I was like, okay, all right, fine. I live, right? So we go over, we taxi over. There's a fire engine, one of those, and there's only one because it's Little Rock, Arkansas, right? This little fucking fire engine comes over. We go to deplane, deplane, there was smoke, blah, blah, blah. The captain came on, and he finally says... He said, I had my hands full up here. I'm sorry I didn't make an announcement. Meaning, it was a serious fucking thing.
Yeah.
So as we go to get off, there's two guys in the giant fucking asbestos suits. They look ridiculous. They look like they were beekeepers. So they didn't look like firefighters. And we go to get off, And as we get off, the ticket agent person, like, okay, they're going to check to see if the plane is still fine and blah, blah, blah. And all I'm thinking in my head is like, dude, the fucking thing was on fire. Something was on fire. There's no fucking way we're getting back on that. There's people walking in with the beekeeper suits. It's over, right? So we sit there for about a half an hour, and they finally come on. They say, okay, here's the deal. We need to get a new plane. The plane that we're going to get is 2 hours away, but the crew is an hour away from getting to the plane. So it's going to be about a 3-hour delay. And, people were kind of cool, but there's those, like 15% like, this is ridiculous. What kind of way to run an airline? Giving them shit.
Yeah.
Okay? Giving them shit. It's like, dude, the fucking thing, I don't know what was on fire, what was smoldering, but it was smoldering at 30-something thousand feet. And the fucking pilot just got us on the ground and we like a stud and we didn't die. And now you're fucking bitching?
Yeah.
Go up to the bar and shut the fuck up, right? So there's one guy there with his purple shirt and he's fucking breaking his neck, shaking his head like, oh, it's unbelievable. And you know the deal. You know the deal. If they say it's going to happen in 3 hours, that means it's going to be about 12, right? So we go into the bar and I watch Auburn kicking the shit out of the Razorbacks. Then I watch the Cubs get into the World Series and they just keep going like, well, it's not now. It's looking like 9:30. And then they do that. It's looking like 10:10. We're thinking 10:46. And people just eat more. Freaking out. Then they change the gate. And everybody just is gradually more and more like freaking out. And then they're vacuuming up the airport. It was the Hillary and Bill Clinton airport. The Bill and Hillary Clinton airport. Which was, basic seats. The Clintons, they stole so much money. There's only so much left for the airport there, right? So, long story short, we landed about 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock or something like that. The plane, we didn't get on the fucking plane to get out of there until like a little bit after 1 a.m. And this is the thing, like the person goes, okay, so the plane's here. And then everybody's just like, so it's going to take us to L.A. now? And the guy just goes like, no, the plane's going to take you back to Dallas.
Everyone's like,
everybody's like, Dallas, we came from Nashville. What kind of way is this to run an airline? They're like screaming at this guy. And I sat the whole time. I just sat there laughing my ass off going like, who gives a fuck as long as we're not dead, right? Mm-hmm. Like I just couldn't it was fucking scary, right? So they end up flying us into Dallas, and we land, and we're like, this is the plane we're taking to L.A., right? They're like, absolutely. And we land in Dallas, and they go, okay, we're going to need everybody to get off the plane. And everybody says, Jesus Christ, you got to fucking kidding me. There's one guy here, this guy, they can't possibly think we're ever going to fly this airline again, right? I'm like, I'm absolutely going to fly it again. One of the guys who works for them just flew a plane that was somehow on fire. From 30,000 fucking feet down to the ground. It's a great airline. It's a great fucking airline. So we get off the fucking plane, and I slept on the fucking floor waiting for the get back on. We ended up getting back on, and we ended up landing at I think 10 in the morning. And I actually figured it out. It took 16 hours for me to get back from Nashville. And from here to Sydney, Australia is 14 hours. So I literally could have flown to Sydney, got a connecting flight, and got my ass down to Melbourne. But you know what, Nia? I didn't burn up in a plane. That's all I just kept thinking.
The fact that you didn't flip out is still kind of amazing to me. But the thing is with you is that when big things like this happen, you are so calm. You are just very relaxed, and you have a lot of perspective about it. And you're like, well, but this and this and this, so this and this and this. But God forbid there's a new operating system on your phone. It's you have the meltdown of
I would put everybody
sugar crash.
Everybody who flipped out about all of that airplane shit, I would have put all of them to shame. Over, a
new operating system on your phone.
I can
lose it.
I can sit for 16 hours in an airport. I had a great time. I went in, I sat down, I watched the Cubs. I'm sitting there going the Cubs literally have not been to a World Series. They haven't even been there. As bad as Cleveland is, they haven't even fucking gotten to the World Series in 71 years. That's almost impossible. If it wasn't for them, it is impossible, because I don't think anybody else has ever fucking done, just not been there.
I would have been crying out of frustration. I would have been so tired and hungry and frustrated and like all these things.
The fucking plane was on fire.
No, I get it.
Or whatever. It was smoldering.
Understand.
Something was burning, and everyone was sitting there going, who had one of those fucking Galaxy 7 phones in their
right, exactly. The Samsung.
Yeah, that they checked. That's what I was thinking. Because there was that thing with ValueJet where something caught on fire underneath there, and it burned through whatever controllers they had, and that thing crashed into a fucking swamp.
Did you say?
And some of the bodies got eaten by alligators.
Oh, Jesus. Did you say that somebody...
Give a fuck that I'm sleeping on a floor.
Did you say, like, at the airport, somebody asked about that phone? Like, they were asking people if anyone had that phone?
Oh, when we got back on the plane the second time.
Yeah.
They said, if anybody has a Galaxy 7 phone, can you notify the stewardess?
Yeah.
Which is hilarious to me. Like, okay,
that happened on a plane. You know, that guy's phone started smoking in his pocket. He went to turn it off. He put it in his pocket, and then or something like that, and it started smoking.
Yeah, but that's not going to take down a plane. If it's in your bag and it starts smoking and then ignites with the shirt or some shit like that, and you have a bad canvas suitcase.
Well, why it could not have happened?
And it eats its way out, then I think you're in trouble. But what's he going to do? Just stare at his pocket as it slowly catches on fire, going, "Oh my God!"
I think that's exactly.
Oh my God! What do I do?
I think that
pocket's on fire. We're all gonna die.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what happened.
Dude, there was a guy that literally tried to light his fucking shoes on fire, and everybody just beat the fuck out of him. Like, that's what happened to this guy. And he was trying to take the fucking plane down. Yeah, those phones are like fuck. They always exaggerate. They always exaggerate.
Like you went through. If there's anything smoking on a plane, on a pressurized fucking enclosed, thing, not vehicle, but you know what I'm saying, vessel. Yeah. You got to get everybody out of there. Better safe than sorry.
I know, but it's like, so your phone starts catching on fire. How long are you going to take it out? Like, oh my God, what the fuck? And then take your little complimentary glass of water and dump it on it, and it's over.
You know what? I don't know what he did after that. I'm sure he took it out and was like, oh shit.
I know exactly what he did. He grabbed somebody else's phone and took a selfie and said, hashtag fuck my life. And then he got a deal. He got some sort of internet deal, and now he makes $400,000. He's the fuck my life guy. I'm actually recording this Sunday night. I was going to record it tomorrow morning, but my lovely, beautiful, gorgeous wife is upstairs, and you know what she's doing? She's watching the reality fucking shows. And I sit there, I try to hang in there. I fucking try to hang in there. I can't fucking do it. It's so fucking depressing. I don't understand how she and Michael Rappaport can watch that fucking shit. It's fucking... She's watching one right now. All they do, they just sit around talking about stuff. Bags and shoes, and this one wants titties because her sister's got bigger titties. I wish I had tits like you. And it's like, these are like, they don't do anything, and then they're always going on vacation to clear their head from doing nothing. I guess being on the show and being in front of the cameras and stuff, yeah, I guess that would get fucking annoying after a while. But they don't fucking do anything. And then there's this guy with a beard, and he comes walking in, and he's always acting like he's fucking got all these businesses going. He's not fucking doing anything either. They do the show. That's what the fuck they do. And so I'm hanging in there, and I'm trying to watch. And then they do that horrible, like, you watch them talk about the shit, and then they cut to the people who you just saw talking about the shit. Then they talk about they just talk about what they just did. So, the one of them wants to get a fucking boob job, and they probably just had her do it, just so they could get a fucking episode out of it. All I know is in the end, when she goes to talk about it, this is what I tapped out. After listening to these fucking people sitting around talking about themselves, and just walking around with these fucking... $10,000 worth of clothes to walk into a fucking living room and sit down and talk about other clothes, right? They cut to the one who was going to get her titties done, and she sits down, and the first thing that comes out of her mouth, she just goes, "For me?" And I was just like, I got to get the fuck out of here. I got to get the fuck out of here. I can't, like, what do you mean for me? We just listen to you talk about, like, they should just go down to a fucking soup kitchen. Go ladle out some shit for a while. Then they would just talk about how fucking it was so amazing to meet all these different people. And they're just like really, really poor. And I just felt for me, it was just so great to connect with people. And they would be doing that in full on fucking makeup with love bracelets going all the way up to their fucking, their goddamn neck. And I don't know, just after helping people like that, I just really feel like I need to clear my head and go to San Luis Obispo, whatever the fuck those goddamn people go. Jesus Christ, I don't know why she watches it. Why does she watch it? She likes great movies. She's a very smart person. I don't know. I guess, for me, I guess I watch fucking football. That's just as fucking stupid. I watch people sitting there talking about, I guess that's the female version of it. And I have to accept that's the fucking fact.
Bill and I just watched this 60-minute segment, right, about social media influencers. And so there's these kids on there because, they're millennials or whatever, with the exception of Kim Kardashian. But the other people on there are these young people that, have all these viewed Vines and Snapchats and everything. And so companies are paying them insane amounts of money to do advertising for. And one of them is this blonde kid whose name I don't remember.
He's fucking hilarious.
And he does these splits
in front of people.
Random locations. He's like at the Wall of China, the Eiffel Tower and everything. And he has all these like views. So he gets
No, I thought all those kids are funny. What drove me nuts about it was how the reporter just couldn't get his head around it, going like, so then you get 6 million views and people want to advertise in that?
I told you, 60 Minutes is for old people.
It's like, fuckhead. You're on a TV show. There's advertising on your TV show. The amount of viewers that you have is how much you can charge for ad space. Why would this be? He just couldn't get his fucking head around it.
He's explaining it to the people that are watching 60 Minutes, which are older people generally. They have older correspondents. They're explaining it to our parents. They're not explaining it to us.
You're letting them off the hook. You're letting them off the hook.
They're doing it. I'm telling you.
You're letting them off the hook.
They're doing it for like 60, 70 plus year old people.
That reporter was exactly who I thought he was.
No. I'm telling you.
Off the hook.
I'm telling you. There is a reason why they're so like.
All right. Well, maybe because I get it. Maybe because I get it.
Yeah, you get like impatient with it. That's for old people that are like, you do what with your phone?
I fucking have a podcast. It's a radio show on the internet. Enough people listen.
That to
people will advertise.
I know, but explain that to like an old. I shouldn't even say 60. My dad's 65, and I think he would grasp that concept. But like, think about the most older people who are not L.A., New York, who are just not savvy about that stuff. Like, they don't get it, and they probably don't necessarily.
And the kid's like,
get it.
Oh, and then I fucking do this, and I wear a Jimmy John shirt.
Yeah,
and he's like, and then they pay you for that. It's like, dude, half the fucking bands this guy's going to see, like, there's advertising at the shows. The Rolling Stones have like Bud Light in the background, right?
I know. I just think I really think that they're explaining it for older people who don't understand what it means to go viral. They don't even know what that word means. It's a new phenomenon for them. They don't get it. That 60 Minutes is not for people.
No, it's a new word for what the fuck they've been doing.
Yeah.
60 Minutes went viral in the 60s. It was a hit show.
Right.
It just wasn't viral. It went
because
fucking...
there was no internet.
TVO.
So viral.
Whatever the fuck you call a hit TV show.
Right. But viral...
And do you think there was people from the 1800s still alive going like, so you're in that box and the more people that watch it, you make more money? Yes. Yes, that's exactly how that works.
Yeah.
It was fucking like, but he said it to every one of them.
I know, but I'm
single...
telling you, he was explaining it for the older people at home that don't understand these things.
And Kim Kardashian couldn't have broke it down any more for him. And he just couldn't get his fucking head around it. He's like, so you don't sing, you don't dance. He's like, no, I just like, it's a lifestyle. I'm a brand. Mm-hmm. And he's like, dude, you're literally interviewing her you're taking the fucking time to interview her. She obviously has some sort of fucking clout. I've never seen a guy so in the eye of the storm and he's out there with like sunglasses on, like looking for the sun. It's windy out and a tree could hit me in the head. Like he just couldn't get his fucking head around it. It was driving me up the fucking wall. Driving me up the wall. And then also like people acting like these little things were these high concept fucking bits. They're not. They're quick little fucking things. Like that dude going, I can do the whole Batman, Superman, what if in 4 seconds. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Everybody said that. Yeah, Superman would just fuck him up. That was it. And then the old guy was going like, so like that's what you think would happen? Sorry. And when you were watching your reality show, I tapped out when that girl finally just goes, for me, after she'd just been talking about herself. And then she's going to talk about herself, talking about herself. I had no idea my mom was that frustrated, that it affected her that way. And I just feel like, for me.
I know, I really do hate that. Just for me, I just feel like, I just feel like is not a great way to start a sentence. You should just say, I think, I feel. For
all of that reality show speak that you watch, mm-hmm. you know, and that made me feel a certain kind of way.
Some type of way.
Made me feel some type of way. It's always so fucking vague, but some type of way never means happy.
No.
Why can't you just say it fucking pissed you off? Maybe because this is a nicer way to say it.
Right. Maybe because you don't want to get into your specific emotions. So you're like, it just had me feeling some type of way.
Oh, no. There is not one woman on any of those shows that does not want to get into how they're feeling emotionally. That is what the entire fucking show is.
I don't know. I think it's just the way young people are speaking now. They don't say that made me frustrated or I was really angry.
No, that was like a.
You just say I'm in my feelings. You say no, I'm really in my feelings. She was really in her feelings about it, or I feel some type of way. That's what people say now instead of saying.
Well, those Real Housewives were talking like that, and they got like 20-year-old kids.
Well, because they're trying to be.
I don't know. You know what I'm being right now? I'm being the old guy in 60 Minutes. I just can't get my head around
it.
Why so anybody...
You say, I feel some type of way instead of saying I'm upset.
So no matter how great their lives are, they're always going to yell at each other and pull each other's hair? I'm doing that. Yes, Bill. That's what the fucking show is. And you enjoy this? Yes, Bill. That's why I watch it. All right. Hey, Nia, you know what? Fair enough. Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
You feel some type of way about all this, don't you?
Oh, my God, that guy in 60 Minutes, it was like, I swear to God. I wanted to eat the glass I was drinking out of.
Imagine explaining to your dad that whole concept.
Listen.
That's what that man was doing.
Yeah, and my dad would get it.
Your dad would be like, yeah, sure.
No, yeah, he wouldn't listen. Yeah, what'd you say? Okay. Christ, Bill, I'm tired. Okay, I don't need to hear this shit. Oh, I shouldn't tell this story, but I'm gonna.
What story?
I can't tell it because there's too many people I have to fucking protect. All I can tell you is that the authority figure called the house and said, shit. He said, listen, I can't prove it, but I know your son did some, X, Y, and Z.
Oh, right.
And then my dad goes, what do you mean? He goes, what do you mean you can't prove it, but you know he did it? And he goes, oh, Christ, I don't have time for this shit. And he hung up on him. He was the exact opposite of, I'm going to get involved with this shit. Like,
I really love that response.
We're all loners. big family, but we all just do our own shit. And last thing, like the same way I don't want to like the way I've been paying for 3 cell phone numbers for the last, I didn't even realize it. To do the backstory, one time I was on the fucking road and Nia calls me up. She goes, why do you have like 3 different cell phone numbers? What the fuck? Are you living a double life?
Yeah.
And I go, I don't. I got 1. She goes, no, you got 3. I go, no, I don't. I got 1. She goes, I'm looking at the bill right now. And what it was it was back in the 2000s.
I was so confused / angry / annoyed / okay, maybe it's just not what I think it is or whatever. But I'm like paying all the bills since you're on the road. So I'm like going through everything. And I'm like, this motherfucker has 3 numbers. Why? Why on earth would he have 3 numbers? I've only seen 1 phone. Does he have a secret phone, like a secret cell phone?
I got a little flip phone.
Because I know men do that sometimes. They have a secret little bat phone.
All right, this is what it was.
About.
This is what it was back in like 15 fucking years ago. Wasn't that maybe 12 years ago? It was when I was with you. Mm-hmm. I would go on the road, and this is before like smartphones and all of that, and you had to get the internet. And I'd go to these hotels, and they would charge me like $12.99 a day, $15.99 a day, and I wasn't making shit on the road. And it would add up. And that was still back when you'd get sides for your auditions emailed to you. Then you had to go down to the thing in the lobby and
business center
and print it out. So they came up with these little things. They look like hockey pucks. These little round things that you'd get your own internet. I think Bobby Kelly, dude, you got to get this, dude, right?
Oh yeah, my dad had one of those.
Yeah,
and plug it in,
and it came with like a phone number or something.
Okay.
So I got one of those. They explained how to do it. I did it one time. It worked. It didn't work again. And then I forgot about it to the point I forgot I even had it. And then I got another one. And then that one, I just, after a while, I just got a smartphone. And I never look at my bill. I just look, what does it cost?
Yeah.
So then, years later.
So you've been paying for this number.
I've been paying extra $50 a month. And they're still on my bill.
When are you going to take it off then?
I don't want to. I would rather pay $50 a fucking month than have to sit there and I'm not going to get upset. I can't fucking deal with calling up and going,
I need to cancel this. I am no longer using it.
That's not how it works, though. You go in and it goes like, it's the robot. And then it's going like, if you want to do this, press 1. If you want to do that, press 2. And you always are existing at like 1.5. It's like a little bit 3, but a little bit 4.
And you're just like, Operator.
You press 0. I'm sorry, that doesn't fucking work. And then the worst thing ever is you get on and you say, yeah, who am I speaking with today? William Burr. Can I get your zip code? Can I get your fucking first goldfish's name? Can I get this? Can I get that? Can I get that? And then you tell them what the problem is and they go, okay, I'm going to have to transfer you to somebody else. I'm like, hello. And then they go, okay, who am I speaking to? What is your zip code? What is the name of your God? It's like, I just fucking told you. See, here I go. I fucking told you all that shit. And yeah, I don't want to deal with that shit.
So you'd rather continue to pay this bill for the rest of your life?
No, I want to take them off. Of course I want to take them off. I just, that's not my top priority, Nia, is not fucking call. You saw when I tried to get the NFL network. I was on the phone for fucking 90 motherfucking minutes with people in Southeast Asia who didn't even know what it was hockey.
Yeah, you did really good. I was very proud of you that day. You were so calm. You were so polite. You didn't freak out.
No, you missed part of it when you left. And I was just like, listen, I'm not trying to be a jerk, but this is your second language and you don't even know what the sport is I'm talking. This would be like if you called me up and I, Rosetta Stoned how you speak and you want to watch cricket.
Rosetta Stoned?
Yeah. And they would just, she just goes, I'm sorry, I'm in Asia. Is that going to be a problem? And then I felt bad. I'm like, no, it's not a problem. You know what I'm saying? She goes, no, I get it. She was actually great. The first person was a fucking idiot. Wasn't a fucking idiot. He just was not a smart person. He lacked the tools for that situation. So no, I have to do it. There's so many fucking, if you knew the amount of fucking money that I throw away because I don't want to deal with the infrastructure.
Right.
The amount of times I've bought a plane ticket. Okay, I buy a fucking plane ticket and then the thing gets canceled and I don't go. I don't call up. I just eat the price of the ticket. I do it
You do?
all the fucking time. All the fucking time. Because I am not going to www.delta.org. I'm not fucking doing it. I'm not doing it.
Your travel person do it. Like when I wasn't able to go to Nashville, I emailed her and I said, I'm not able to go. And then I'll get a note.
Good. I thought I ate that ticket.
No. And she's like, I'm going to cancel it. And I said, I'm going to get a note from my doctor. And so maybe we'll be able to get reimbursed. And she's like, yeah, I just canceled it. Like, let me know and we'll do what we can.
I literally, I think I paid for a hotel room Sunday night because we were going to be there through Sunday night.
Yeah.
And rather than just stopping at the fucking front desk and just dealing with that, I just leave.
You never check out.
I don't check out.
You never do like hi, I'm leaving. How was your stay? Enjoyable? You just fucking
I leave.
Walk out the door. And I'm just like, wait, don't we have to check out? You're like, don't send me the bill.
They'll figure it out.
You never take the time to check out.
There's only,
you were the only person I know that doesn't go down there and is like, okay, goodbye, I'm leaving. Here's the key. See you later. You just fucking walk.
No, I just leave. I've done that with rental cars. One time I got so shit-faced so late into the night and I didn't realize I had a 6 a.m. flight. I got up and I was still drunk and I was like, I can't fucking, I tried to drive. I was like, I can't drive. And my GPS wasn't working because I was in fucking, Elk Deer, fucking Montana or some shit. I was up in Canada.
Elk Deer.
Yellowknife. They have all that shit. They're like us. They wiped out the Indians and then they just name shit after them to make themselves feel better. Right? No, we didn't do that.
Like us?
Canadians. Well, like white people.
Right.
Yeah, you're not included in that.
No, I was going to say.
Watch a Trump rally. You're not a part of that. So, anyways, I remember one time I gave the keys to the guy at the hotel. I go, hey, can you take that back for me? I'm too drunk. Yeah, don't fucking worry about it. And I was so fucking shit-faced that when 2 weeks later they called me up going, yeah, where's the car? I was sitting there and I always give a fake number.
Right.
So I'm like, what do you mean? Well, I brought it back. How the fuck did you get this number? Leave me alone. They're like, sir, it hasn't come back yet. I go, I dropped it off. I just kept hanging up on him. And I don't know, there was something the third time they called, I finally was just started thinking, I was just like, wait a minute. Did I bring that back? And I called up Verzi. And I was like, Verzi, did we bring that car back? And he was just like, oh, dude, I don't know. I don't remember. Because he was, we were all pretty we were out there. And Bartner couldn't remember. And then I was just like, wait a minute, dude. There was a gig I did, and I gave the keys to someone at the hotel. Was that gig? And then we figured out that it was that gig. And then they drove down, and it was sitting there. That cost me $1,200. Do you realize the house we could be living in?
Ridiculous.
No, I do it.
It's so
I do
ridiculous.
It all the fucking time because I don't give a shit. Money to me is just you're just writing a number on a piece of paper, and it's just if you just get past the fact that it actually has value.
Do you know what
if you just
privileged
listen,
position you're in to be saying that?
I've always been that way.
$50 a month is a lot to a lot of people to just be throwing away. You know what I mean? That's the thing.
Listen, don't guilt me because Nia, I fucking time out. No, fuck that, Nia. Fuck that. I didn't know anybody in this business. I didn't take the safe fucking route. Okay, and go for the fucking, I'm going to go do something else.
You earned the right to blow $50 a month on numbers.
No, it's my fucking money. I don't want to fucking deal with that shit. I tried to be in the office area. I wore a fucking tie. I tried to do it. I sat in on meetings, and I literally all I would think about is whoever was talking, I wanted to run right at them, dive over their shoulder right through the fucking window, and nosedive into the fucking parking lot. I can't live in that fucking world, so I picked this shit where 99.9% of people fail.
All right.
So I took all of my chips, I put it on the fucking zillion to one shot, and it fucking came in. And one of the perks of my fucking business is I don't check out. I walk out. I don't want to talk to you. I fucking hate when I get into the fucking, just leave me alone.
That's the thing.
Just you don't want
leave
me.
You don't want to talk to anybody who's hi, can I help you? Let me get this right. You don't ever want to deal with any type of customer service on any level.
No, leave me
Even
alone.
if they're helping you, you don't even want to deal with them.
No, just leave me. I hate when I check into a hotel and then there's a phone call and you pick up, hello. Oh, hey, hi, Mr. Burr. Just checking to make sure everything was all right with your room.
Hate that so much. You hate room. You hate housekeeping services.
Turn down service.
You hate all of that.
Oh my God. When my last one, like the lady was coming in, I'm like, she's knocking on the door. She's like, hey, room service. I'm like, I'm all right. I'm all right. She just kept coming. I'm like, I'm all right. Like, get out of here. I feel like I paid for that fucking room. I got the sign hanging out on the other. Do I have to have a guard out there? He wants to be left alone. What the fuck? What the fuck does that mean? Is everything all right with the room? First of all, I'm an adult. If there was, I'm glad you called. There's water pouring in. I didn't know what to do. The fucking room's fine. The bed is on the ground. There's a mattress. And I lie on it. I know how to use everything in here. That's it. That's it.
Whenever we go to hotels, if we're on vacation or anything, and I'm like, Bill, can you, especially if we're in a foreign country, I'm like, Bill, can you call down and, ask them if they can make reservations or whatever, if it's like a different language. Bill always goes, no, you're better at that stuff than I am. And I'm like, all you have to do is ask them to do something. And he's like, no, I can't.
No, I'm not.
You have to do it. I'm not good at it. I'm not good at it.
It's funny. When I got to Nashville so early, right? And I went into like the Sky Lounge thing. I'm not going to say the airline I always fly, right? But I finally, somebody convinced me to fucking, go into the Sky Lounge area, right? So I go, all right, I'll fucking do that. But then that thing's fucking stupid because then you have to get to the airport early to make it worth it. It's like, I don't want to be here. I want to get here as late as possible, immediately get on the plane and get the fuck out of here, right? So anyways, I got there really early to Nashville. Didn't know that my fucking plane was going to catch on fire. So I go in there and they go, I go, yeah, I don't have my card on me. And then they go, what's your name? What was the name of your goldfish and all of that fucking shit? And I go through all of that. And then she looks up. She goes, oh, here you are. And I never use miles either. That's another thing. I always get miles, but I've never used them.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to go on the fucking website and deal with all that. How much does it cost? I'll write it on this piece of paper and fuck off, right? So she looks in and their eyes just go like big as saucers. She goes, you have 824,000 freaking flyer miles. I was like, oh, yeah, do I ask?
I thought you have used...
Yeah, you want them? Yeah. Because I ain't going on the fucking website.
I thought you used miles in the past when I first started flying with you to gigs. Didn't you use them then?
When I was making no money, when I made no fucking money, and then we were going to go on vacation,
yeah,
and I wanted to fly first class, they would use up all of my miles.
Right.
But then once I started making money, it's like I don't have to fucking deal with that anymore. I hated doing that because I call my travel agent and say, oh, I'm sorry, I can't do that. You have to log on. Just go to fucking Continental. I used to fly Continental out of Newark all the time. You'd have to go to, I'm not good at it. I fucking hate it. I would rather just give you the money.
You have to ask our travel person to do it. Do you know that when I went to meet you, when I went to Chicago...
Hey, if I get over 1 million, do the pilots come back and say hello like they did with George Clooney in that movie?
Maybe.
I'm getting up there.
You are getting up there. But I got bumped or something like that. And so they give you the voucher, like it's a $300 voucher and whatever it is, $300 voucher. Do you know I took that... I scanned it and I emailed it to her. And I said, by the way, I got this voucher. So if you can use it towards Bill's next flight. And she was like, oh, great. Actually, I can. I'm like so on top of that shit. You would have been like, this fucking voucher.
You know how many times I got a voucher?
Thrown in a trash.
I lose it. I don't even know where it is.
Yeah. No, I held on.
What am I, some old lady eating cat food?
Once again, this is something that like most people would be like, oh, good, I can use this towards the next thing. And you're just like wiping your ass with it.
I'm not wiping my ass with it. Look how I dress. Like I got corduroy. I'm dressed like Malcolm Young on the Power Rage tour. Some old white dudes get that reference. I I live within my fucking means, and it affords me an ability to not have to sit there. Hey, you got a voucher? Standing there. All right, sorry, the batteries just died there. I had to cut this out. Yeah, first of all, you're making it seem like I'm this spoiled rich kid who goes around burning, lighting $100 bills on fire. Nia, I've always fucking been that way. I've never, when I wasn't making any fucking money, and I was staying at the Ocho de la Super way back in the day, right? And they'd always have the continental breakfast, and you got to get down here by 10 a.m. And I did it one time, and I'm standing in line with all these people with these fucking old loafers, hoping they're not going to run out of batter for the fucking waffles. And I'm just sitting there going I can go to Denny's like a gentleman and just sit down and order a fucking waffle. I don't need a free fucking waffle. You know what I mean? That's like miserly shit to me. Mm-hmm. I get a voucher. All of that shit. I remember one time I was so fucking mad. They fucked me over so bad on this plane that I actually did that old lady shit. And I walked in and I was like, I've been waiting and I paid for this and blah, blah, blah. And my bag took all this fucking time. And then they were just like, all right, you got to go on the website. And I was like, I know because you don't think I'm going to do it. You don't think I'm going to do it. I went home and I fucking did it. And I took all of that time. And then there was, they just kept calling, emailing me back, and I kept having to confirm shit. And then I finally just said, fuck it. I don't have that fight in me. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I don't wait for sales or any of that shit. If I need it, I go in and I fucking buy it. And whatever it costs me, if that means I can't do something else in my life, I just won't do that. But for me, you cannot put a price on getting that over with as quick as fucking possible.
Yeah. No, I'm giving you a hard time, but you do have a very healthy attitude about money. You're really good with money. You've taught me a lot about being responsible about money. But I think I have definitely that mentality of taking advantage of little stuff like that. And oh my God, this costs extra. I have to cut it out, even if it does inconvenience me in some way. I just have that. I am a coupon person. I am a sale person. I'm always but it was on sale. It's discounted. That's still the way
I love
my
that shit.
mind works.
I love that shit. Yeah, it was on sale. Yeah, it was still $700. So you go the other way. But it was on sale. All of your fucking shoes and shit. All of this shit
everything that I buy for the most part is on sale. I use so many discounted websites.
Yeah, but it's still expensive as shit.
Yeah, but it's not as expensive.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I walk around and American Airlines is going to give me a free peanut butter and jelly sandwich because it was 20 minutes late. And I'm like, hey, dude, you know what? Keep your fucking sandwich. I'll buy my own sandwich. And you're making me act like I'm a fucking, a Trump or some shit. And you're over there buying $1,000 pair of shoes. Oh, it's on fucking sale. I don't know. Something? There's people that I grew up with that were really miserly like that, and they didn't leave good tips, and they just blah 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 blah. It's just fucking paper. Just give it to them, make them happy, and let's get the fuck out of here.
But when you don't,
let's just get the fuck out of here. But if you
don't have a lot of it, you have to be miserly. You have to find a way to survive and get what you want and still have some to live.
I moved to New York City. I ate spaghetti every night. I had a chair that became a fucking table. I did that all the fucking time. I can live on fucking nothing. I did it. But you know something? I still had money in the bank because I saved up for my day jobs because I knew New York was going to be expensive and I wasn't going to be that fucking guy going, oh God, I'm down to my last $20. How are you down to your last $20? Mm-hmm. How did you get yourself into that fucking situation? Okay, I'm talking about white male heterosexual. How the fuck did you get yourself in that situation? You fucked up. You fucked up your money. You're an adult.
Right.
So, you know how much money you're making. You know what your fucking bills are. Mm-hmm. But, you start making money, and for the first half of the month, you're walking around acting like you make 3 times as much, and then the end of the fucking month, you're going to come to me and act like a fucking pound puppy, like you're, like the world did you wrong. It's like, no, you fucked yourself over. I believe you guys say you played yourself.
You played yourself. Congratulations. You played yourself.
Yeah, that's why I hate going to the bank at the beginning of the month. I hate it. It's a bunch of people whose money is fucked up. Okay? And it's depressing to see because they should have been educated on how fucking money works.
What do you mean? The first of the month when people get paid? And they're like...
Or paydays, Saturdays, the day when the general fucking public goes in there. Every fucking fifth person is in there yelling through that bulletproof glass and can't understand. It's basic fucking math. Right. You put 200 in there, you withdrew 200,
so you don't
have any money left. I don't know. It's very rare that I fucking stick up for the banks, but when there's fucking people in there, I mean, there's all this information online. You know what I mean? There's all this, I don't know. I always had a job. I had a paper route since I was in third grade, and then I had money for my football cards and my candy bars. I had my overhead was fine. And I remember my friends were always like, "Oh, I'm broke. Oh, I'm fucking broke." I'd be like, "Get a fucking paper route." "Oh, I don't want to get up." Well, then go fuck yourself. Supposed to feel bad for you because you can't get doubles at lunch? You got to go to your mother? How old are you? Oh, I mean, are we 8 years old? Oh, I'm on my fucking soapbox. Right? Everybody should live the way I do.
A little enterprising BB.
I wasn't enterprising. I just fucking made money, and then I always had it, and I didn't blow it all.
The idea of you with a paper route, so you had money for football cards and candy, is the cutest thing I've ever heard.
Oh, it's the greatest thing. I loved football cards, and I used to go down. I used to ride my bike up to the corner store, and I would sit there, little freckle-faced me, going, "Do Topps football cards come out yet?"
Oh my!
And they'd be like, "No, I'm sorry." And I would check every single day.
Oh my God!
And when they came out,
so cute.
When they came out, me and all my friends would buy them, and then we'd sit there, trade them, and stick in the big fucking piece of shit gum that they had that always fucked up the football card, usually the best one in the pack. And you'd sit there and cut the roof of your mouth as you're trying to chew it down. And we would just sit there and, root beer, candy, just all fucking sugar.
Yeah.
Just going through. I got Bob Greasy. I got O.J. Simpson. I got Walter Payton, all these guys way back then. Randy White, Jack Lambert. I still remember all their names. It was fucking great. Robert Newhouse, rest his soul.
So cute.
Yep. I used to make like $6 a fucking week. I was loaded.
Oh, that's a lot. No,
I was fucking loaded.
How old were you when you started that paper route? Third grade? So
third grade.
So you're like
third
8
grade,
years old?
And I kept it all the way to like freshman in high school, to the point of like, when the child star is just not cute anymore? No one wants a 6-foot paper boy. I'm not 6 feet tall, but that's just a funny number. So then I immediately went from that to then I just had there was this weird time where I didn't have a job because I was too old to be a paper boy, I felt. And then I was too young to have a job. Yeah,
did you have a job in high school?
Well, so when I quit my paper route, I didn't have any fucking money coming in, and right. I was not used to that. Uh-huh. I hadn't dealt with that since I was way back in the second grade. This was a crisis. This was my first 2008 that I went through. So I actually went down, I think it was to the principal's office, and I got a worker's permit that allowed me to work underage. Is that what I did? Yeah, to get this job that I wanted. And during the summertime, I used to caddy.
Uh-huh.
I used to caddy, and I used to try to get doubles, which is 2 bags. And, you'd just be running from one guy to another guy. And hopefully, it was always really bad when one guy really fucking sucked. But if they both sucked, it was brutal. If one guy sliced and the other guy hooked and they both were fucking righties, that was going to be a long afternoon for you. And, I used to do that, There was a couple.
I love hearing about your childhood stuff that you did. I just it's just so funny to me because now at first I pictured you little cutie freckle face with your cards and your bubble gum and your
orange hair. I didn't. I look like a little fucking. There's such thing as an adorable scarecrow. That's what the fuck I look like.
And now you're like a high school kid running around the golf course with 2 golf bags on you. So you literally have worked your entire life.
Yeah. Then I got this job at this place called Morse Shoe. And we were doing
Morse Shoe?
Yeah. And it was like, I just meant this was the worst fucking job I ever had as far as just like mind-numbingly fucking, it felt like 20 hours. It was like 2 hours at the end of every school day. I'd take the bus over and then I would fucking walk home like 2 miles or some shit like that. Back when you just do that as a kid, just walk along a fucking highway and nobody gave a fuck, right? And they had like these little cards, these computer cards with numbers on them, and you had these order forms, and you had these little manila envelopes. I still don't know what the fuck it was. It was something for them to then feed into this computer. This was like 1984 or some shit. I hated that job. Then I got into warehousing. Yeah. And when I got into warehousing, then I got my first loan. My dad co-signed the loan. And
For the car?
For the car, yeah. But I put all the down payment. He didn't pay a dime of it. I bought the whole I got a 3-year loan from Danvers Savings Bank, Conant Street. I still remember writing the thing. It was $138.63 a month. Still remember that shit. Mm-hmm. Paid that whole fucking thing off. Ended up getting another paper route with the truck, where I would drive in the morning.
You just went back to the paper route was almost like your fault.
But I did the warehousing during the day. No, then I had 2 jobs, and I was also then I got rid of that thing just because my friends teased me. Oh, what are you, a fucking paper boy? And it felt stupid. It was great.
You're like, yes.
No, but it was like an extra $100 a week, which was huge, right? So I ended up quitting that, and the fuck did I go from there? I tried selling newspaper subscriptions.
Didn't you have a telemarketing type of job?
Yeah, I had that. But when I went to college part-time, and I paid for my education. Mm-hmm. And all the way to like my last year, my parents helped me out with that. And I also got a loan from another family friend. But I paid all of them back. Mm-hmm. I paid all of them back before I moved down to New York. Now, then when I started doing stand-up, I also had a day job. And I was still living at home, and I was still driving that piece of shit truck that I bought in '85.
The red truck, right?
Right. And I drove that thing for 10 fucking years. And I remember when the engine died, and I was at work, and somebody was going like, so now what are you going to do? What are you going to buy? And I was thinking of buying, and I was going to buy like a Toyota Corolla or just something like a comic car that could, go like 200,000 miles. And I finally was just like, fuck this, man. I know I want to move to New York. I could spend like a new car, like a Corolla back then was like, this is early 90s, it was like 11, 12 grand, which was a ton of fucking money, especially for me at that time. And, or I could just spend $1,500 and have them rip the engine out and put a new one in. So that's what I did. And I just remember this woman at work. I've told this story before. She just said, she goes, where's the new car? They get a new car. I said, you know what? I just had a new engine put in my truck instead. And she just made this face. She was just like, that was stupid. And fucking walked away. And she was really beautiful too. And I was just like, you know what? It probably was stupid. Because I guess if I got the new car, I could have banged you. I don't know. So I had that truck, and that was the one, like my first 3 years of comedy, I drove around doing that thing. That's when I met Patrice. He rode, everybody that I knew from back then rode around in that thing. And then, long story short, there was an electrical fire and it burned down right before I moved to New York, which was fine because having a car in New York is a pain in the ass. So when I moved down to New York, I had no debt. I paid off my student loans. I had no credit card debt. I got myself out I had like the revolving $700 with the credit card debt. I just got myself out of it, and I didn't buy anything. I was like Jimmy the Jet. Take it back. Don't buy anything. Don't fucking, if I could say any advice to any young person out there, okay? When you're young is when they give you those credit cards, man, do not fucking rack those. And if you have, you got to knock those fucking things down.
Yeah.
Okay? Figure out what the fuck you want to do before you're involved in some sort of serious relationship, which is going to be like, but I want to live here. Fuck all of that. Get on the path you want to get on. Eat your fucking spaghetti in the morning. Whatever you gotta fucking do. If you gotta deliver papers in the fucking morning and all this other shit to do it. And who knows? Maybe then you too can have fucking 9 cell phone numbers and not want to get on the phone.
Walk out of a
Can you help me with that? Can you seriously help me with that? Can you just like do that for me?
Yes. I mean, I can get through half of it for you. But then eventually I'll
just be in the background, and when they ask the questions.
Yeah, I will help you do that because it's ridiculous that you're continuing to pay for that. That's.
But I also thought too, because I thought I signed a contract on them, so I'm worried that I can't get out.
There's always ways to negotiate your ways out of that. Like I'm good at that stuff. Yeah,
tell them that I died.
No, I'm not going to do that.
And that you're taking over the thing, because then they'll feel bad.
We'll figure it out without telling anybody that you died.
Okay. Well, I'm
No, but you
I'm
can
done
really-
for the fucking year as far
you're-
as gigs. You want to do that? Let's get rid of those other two.
Yeah,
I wanna see what my bill's gonna do.
Let's get rid of any like extra shit you're paying for because you don't want a deal. Yeah, let's take care of that, please. That
No,
would
I
be
have a
great.
lot of shit like that. There's other things that I remember when I
Like
bought
what?
when I bought this laptop. They were like, "Do you want to take any classes or anything like that?" And blah blah. And I signed up for all of them
What do you mean?
at
Classes
like
for
the
what?
Apple Store.
Classes?
To like teach you how to fucking get better at this
Oh
shit.
God! Like you were ever actually going to do that?
Nope, never even went once.
Oh, did you tell the listeners how you ordered like 20 of those adapters for your new iPhone 7?
No, what I did was I was so mad that I ordered 5 of them. and then they were just like, yeah, it's going to be 10 business days. I was like, fuck, I can't listen to my music for 10 days. How am I going to get through my workout? And then the next day I drove down to the Apple Store and then they had a bunch of them. So I said, fuck it. And I bought 5 there. And now when I came back, I got another 5. So now I got 10 of them. This is what you're married, Neil.
Complete waste of money. Again,
It's not a complete
total
waste of money. All right. Well, good. Well, it's a good thing I got advertising here so I can fucking blow it on all my cell phone numbers and adapters. All right. All right. Applause or laughs? Hey, Bill, I was watching one of your older specials because I fucked up and forgot to get tickets to the one you filmed on Friday. By the way, congratulations. I can't wait to see it. Thank you. Why is my stomach grumbling? I bought all this fucking... I ate all
No, because we ate KFC.
Yeah, we had shit
We
food.
should not have.
No. Well, I ate so well up to the special. I kind of went off the rails this weekend. But starting tomorrow, I'm getting back into it. All right. On this particular special, why do I do this? I notice a lot of people in the crowd cheering versus laughing. So here's a simple question. While on stage, what gives you a greater sense of accomplishment, laughs or applause?
That's a really good question.
Thanks. And fuck those people who tell you to fuck yourself.
That's
Well, laughs
really,
usually...
really
laughs
good question. It's
usually...
a really interesting question.
Well, the applause is an applause break. Usually a laugh goes into an applause. Mm-hmm. It's never like you just say something. If you just say something and nobody laughs and they just applaud, then you kind of made a statement, and that's like the douche chill moment. Like, I mean, what they really need to be doing is spending more money on education.
Right. That's applause.
Yeah, if you're doing that during a comedy show, oof, I'll tell you, that's a rough one, you know?
So you'd rather laughter.
Yeah, I'm much...
Anybody remember laughter?
Yeah, I like when they're laughing. I will say that applause is great too, but sometimes during like a taping, then that's when it just you'll as a rookie you'll feel weird, like, oh my god, they're clapping and they're all overly amped up because they know they want you to have a good special, so they're clapping, and then you don't know what to do, but they'll always edit around it because they can make it shorter. So for the comics out there, don't worry about those moments. They can also, if you have a dumb look on your face, like, please stop clapping so I can get to my next joke, they'll just go to the master shot and they won't see that look on your face, and you'll be fine. You'll be fine. But yeah, I definitely like making people laugh to the point that they can't clap. That's what I would prefer. I of course don't always do that, but there are guys out there that I've seen like it's hard for like a Brian Regan level funny guy. When I would watch him live for the crowd to even be able to applaud because they're laughing so hard.
Yeah.
He's the first guy I ever saw made somebody slump over. Like, there was an empty chair next to this lady. I think the other person fucking ran to the back of the room. He was killing so hard. And
I like that kind of laugh.
The woman was just fucking...
I like that kind of laugh where you like... You've seen when I laugh really hard, and if I'm sitting down, I get up and I like run away because I'm laughing so hard. It's too much. I love that kind of laugh. That's like that Apollo laughter. Because you know how like black people, like at the Apollo, if they're laughing really hard, they're like freaking out.
Yes.
And like getting out of their seat and just like
waving towels and shit. Like, yeah, the whole...
And like hitting each other.
Yeah.
Like when we think something's funny, we think it's really fucking funny.
Yeah. And when you don't think it's funny, you really don't think it's funny. Yep, that's what I learned during those rooms. Black crowd's going to have fun with or without you. So you better.
Basically.
Yeah. They're either going to laugh with you or they're going to laugh at you.
There's no pity laughter. There's no pity applause. No, we don't do that. You better be funny.
Some of the fucking heckles I got in those rooms. The worst is when they would just be talking to each other about how not funny you were. I'll never forget just on stage, just bombing. It was just dead silence. And I just heard this woman in the middle of the crowd. She just looked around at everybody. She just goes, I ain't laughed yet. And I was just like, oh my God.
Oh God.
Oh, and there was no.
Oh God, I love black audiences.
There was no
so much fun because there's no politeness.
Yeah, if you're in the crowd. If you're in the crowd.
No, of course.
Yes.
If I was on stage, it's so rough, but it's so enjoyable to be a part of it because nobody cares about your feelings.
Oh, not at all. Not even fucking remotely. Whenever I did a black show,
I ain't laughed yet.
No, just so like
hilarious. But terrible for you.
Dead.
Sorry.
No, she was right though. Whenever I did those shows, I always felt like in the end, whenever I did the uptown rooms, as they call it, you'd get off stage and you asked yourself one of two questions. One, why am I not world famous yet? Or two, what the fuck did I ever, why the fuck did I ever think I should ever even be in this business? Because it went one way or the other. You either murdered or you wanted to crawl out of there.
Yeah.
Talent used to have this room, LeBar Bat, on the fucking Upper West Side. It was after work, black crowd, and it was every other fucking time. Every other time I killed, every other time I fucking ate it. And oh man, I saw them fucking Jimmy Mack, Uncle Jimmy Mack, rest his soul.
Yeah.
I saw him one time. He was having a tough set. I think I bombed. It was just one of those fucking crowds that just weren't laughing that week. Every other week they'd laugh. Every other week they weren't. And he was having a tough set. And I just remember he was bombing so bad, and this woman was heckling him so bad he had to bring up his career. He started talking about his IMDb. Yeah, I've done. He goes, he brought up how he did Comic View or something like that, and like he goes, I don't give a shit. He's like, bitch, I don't give a fuck. You don't think I'm funny? You know, I got a career. And she just went like, I can't remember how she said. She said N-word, what career? And then just dressed him down. I remember I had to go on after it, and like. Jimmy was the man, right? He was the fucking man. And I'm just like, this guy's got 10 years on me. If he can't handle this fucking crowd, what's going to happen to me? And they would just, like, he got off, and then I went up, Talent went up, and Talent had this tag where he would give the worst tag that Talent could say after your set was when he would go up, he'd be like, come on, y'all, comedy ain't easy. When he said that, you were the guy who bombed. It was just like, oh, fuck, right? So, he already did for Jimmy. Come on, y'all. Comedy ain't easy, right? The only time I ever saw him have to do it for Jimmy because he always killed. And then he brought me up that, oh, God. Oh. I thought about that fucking show for like a month. I would just think of the shit that people said to me. I'd be in the shower thinking of it and just... It would pop into my head, and I'd do that thing, like trying to shout it out of my head.
Here's the thing, though, Bill, because you always talk about how heckling, like, is a part of stand-up comedy, right? But
absolutely, it is.
But the thing is, though, I don't know. Maybe I just don't get it, but I just feel like you don't do that. You don't fucking heckle. You let people go up and do their thing, and then, like... That's it. Like, you don't heckle people at a play. You don't well, I guess people do heckle people at concerts and shit like that, sort of. But for the most part, you don't. Why is it that stand-up...
That's what makes stand-up awesome.
Creates this environment where people really feel like they need to interact with you to that level.
Because you're standing there and you're not giving a speech. You're talking to them.
Okay.
So, like, I think it's that. Like, the bands get heckled and all that. Yeah, I love hecklers. That to me, like...
But you don't want to encourage people to be heckling to a point of disruption.
No, like not to that level, but like I don't know. I always thought it was the most terrifying thing when I started out. Like, what am I going to do? Because you knew it was going to happen. What am I going to do when I get heckled? Mm-hmm. What am I going to say? And blah, 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 blah. Like, what the fuck is going to happen? But watching seasoned vets handling hecklers was like this art form. It was an art form within the art form. Mm-hmm. So,
and you're really good at handling hecklers, but I can see why some stand-ups would want those people tossed from the place because they're disrupting the shit. And what you're going to spend?
Yeah, but it's always been that way.
Material that you're working on so hard.
Richard Pryor got heckled,
fucked up by somebody in the crowd.
Richard Pryor got heckled in his own stand-up special. Okay, if he didn't whine about it, like I don't think anybody else should be. Yeah. Okay, if the crowd's going to heckle him, like what are you fucking special? Like I look, every comedian can run their shit the way that they want to run their shit, but like I look at it like I say a lot of fucked up things on stage that are going to make, I always fucking give women shit and like, are they really supposed to just sit there and not say anything? When I go down south, I'm always talking, I'm always fucking around. Going, when you guys came here, you took a shit in your outhouse, and you came down here. At some point, somebody's gonna
so obnoxious.
Yeah, like
you definitely like to push people's buttons that way. That's for sure.
Yeah, because it's fun. That's what people did.
You're a provocateur.
No, I'm not. It's breaking balls, and then they bust your balls back, and then it's funny.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I understand that.
I don't know. I do get annoyed when some people like they'll say like, do they heckle at a Broadway play? It's like, dude, you're not doing this. Isn't Broadway.
That's all right? The way I look at it.
Twinkle toes. No, go fucking put on your tap shoes and a cat suit.
That's the way I look at it, though. You wouldn't heckle a Broadway show. Why are you heckling a comedian? But
because you don't go to a Broadway show and somebody, hey, look at this fucking jerk off. What do you do for a living?
That's a good point.
Yeah, they don't do that either, right? And I'm recording this shit on GarageBand, and as always, I have no idea how much time has gone by. I should have just looked at the clock up top, but I didn't. But this is the new me. This is the new calmer me, who refuses to let technology piss him off. Do you know I spent an hour and a half the opening night, Bruins, their opening night, their first fucking game. Who the fuck did they play? They played Toronto Saturday. I don't even remember. But since like 2007, 2008, I have been, I've had the Center Ice package, and I've had an account online, and I'm able to just sign in and watch the fucking games. Lo and behold, this year I can't. So I don't flip out. I call up. I spent an hour and a fucking half talking to people from Malaysia. Okay? Because I finally got one woman to tell me where she was at. Because this first guy was going like, he's just talking to me. And I'm like, yeah, I want to watch the hockey. And he's like, hockey? I'm like, yes, hockey. He goes, just like ice hockey? I'm like, yeah, Bruins, original 6, 2011 Stanley Cup champions. And I was like, don't flip out. And then finally, I was on the phone with this guy for like 45 minutes. He couldn't figure out what the fucking problem was. And I got a little heated. I was just like, dude, I'm not trying to be a jerk, but there's a little bit of a language barrier here, and you didn't know what hockey was to start with. I should have considered that as an omen. We're 45 minutes in. If we haven't figured it out yet, this isn't working out, okay? Have a nice evening. And he said, okay, I'm sorry. And then I felt bad, and then I just fucking hung up. And then I called back, and then I got another person. And she's going like hockey, like ice hockey, right? Same fucking thing. And I was saying, well, this is the problem I'm having. It's like I'm literally trying to watch something that the person on the other side of the phone doesn't know what it is, and they're on the other side of the world. I go like, where are you right now? And she goes, Asia. I go, you're in Asia? And she goes, yes. She goes, I hope that's not going to be a problem, which made me feel like a Trump supporter. I was like, no, it's not a problem, but you know what I mean? I go, if you were trying to watch cricket and you had to call me up, I'm like, cricket, like the insect or the sport? Wouldn't you get frustrated? So long story short, I spent an hour and a half. I spent like half the fucking game on the phone, and they still couldn't figure it out. And I just said, you know what, to hell with it. And I felt my wife watching me. You know, she kept coming in, and then she was trying to like get upset for me, you know, because she didn't want to see the time bomb go off. And I actually held it together. And I didn't get to see 1 second of the game. And I guess they have some new thing this year. You can no longer stream it. You have to pay for both now. I don't know. They got AT&T bought them, so now you have to pay for both. Because that's how corporations work. I'm scrolling now through my whole iTunes. I don't understand. You know what? I can't play any of my fucking music. It says too many devices have already been cleared to, you know, to listen to iTunes, so it doesn't let me listen to it anymore. I can't, you know, and I don't remember the passwords of anything else on any other device. I don't know what other devices they're saying. Does it mean, you know, my old laptops that are dead, I got to turn them back on, find the cord, plug them in, and do what? You know? Unlet them listen to fucking iTunes? Or does it mean there's too many devices in the house? I have no fucking idea. As far as I know, it's just my laptop and my phone. How can that be too many devices? I don't know. I'm all over the fucking place, and I can't figure out. You know, I got kicked off of my own fucking Facebook. Somebody sent me something for these fucking pictures. I don't know if I got phished or whatever, but now I can't get into my my own account. And they said the only way I can turn my account back on is if I send them a picture of myself. And I'm just thinking like, well, how the fuck do you know what I look like? So I'm officially done with Facebook. You know? Like, let's see. Okay, you know what? Let me see if I can go on to Facebook right now. So let's see if my computer will let me. My phone won't. This is just extra time, people. This isn't even the podcast anymore. This is just you. Yeah, see? I'm done. Email or phone. I don't even recognize. I fucking hate this shit. Now what I gotta do? I gotta spend like another 20 hours trying to figure this out? It's not even worth it to me. Why do I care if someone fished my fucking account anyways? What are they gonna do with it? You know what I mean? Congratulations. You have my Facebook account. Fuck. See? There you go. This is new me. The old me would have flipped out. I just don't give a shit anymore. You know what? You win. You win, Facebook. You win, technology, you fucking cunts. Hey, what's going on? It's Bill Burr, and it's time for the Thursday afternoon, just before Friday, Monday morning podcast, and I'm checking in on you. And I woke up this morning, ba-doo-ba-doo-boop, and that stupid fucking song was in my head. And you might want to fast forward, or it's going to be in your head. I'll give you 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Right? I fucking wake up, and this stupid-ass song. I hate this fucking couch. God damn it. You know, just how do you make a couch uncomfortable? It's the whole fucking point. That's the whole fucking job of a couch is that it's comfortable. It's better than standing. Anyways, I wake up in the morning. Well, it's the shape of a couch. I thought that's all you needed. For the record, it's not my couch, all right? It's not my house. I'm out of my fucking house. And, you know the whole thing. Oh, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. We'll be in and out in 2 fucking seconds. I've gone over my house like 3 days in a row to work out. There's nobody there. Oh, yeah, the guy who had to do the thing, he got tied up at another job. And, I know. Been down this road before. Anyways, the song that was in my fucking head. Remember that fucking song? Whoa, boo da boo da dee dee dee. I something and I something too. Blah 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 blue blee blah blah blue. We had joy, we had fun, we had seasons in the sun, but the sun that's been in my fucking head. Da da dee da ba da. It's such a creepy fucking song. I still don't really know what it's about. Every time I hear the song like once every 15 years, and then I really listen to the lyrics, and I'm like, what the fuck? You know what? I'm going to look it up right now. The guy just sings real creepy, like, oh, mother dear, why did you die? I'm sure he doesn't say that, but the fuck? We had joy. We had fun. Lyrics. All right, here we go. Goodbye to you, my trusted friend. I knew it was creepy. We've known each other since we were 9 or 10. Together we've climbed hills and trees, learned of love and ABCs, skinned our hearts and skinned our knees. Okay, so he's got the creepy childhood out of the way. Goodbye, my friend. It's hard to die when all the birds are singing in the sky. Now that spring is in the air, pretty girls are everywhere. Think of me and I'll be there. Were they both gay and now they're trying to they weren't accepted? So they're feeling the pressures to try to live a straight life, or did this person die? And if he's dead, how the fuck is he singing this shit? We had joy, we had fun, we had seasons in the sun, but the hills that we climbed were just seasons out of time. Goodbye, Papa, please pray for me. I was the black sheep of the family. I was a drug user. You tried to teach me right from wrong. Too much wine and too much song. Oh, yeah, he's partying. Wonder how I got along. Goodbye, Pop. It's hard to die. Oh, Jesus Christ. Shut the fuck up. You know what? This guy's not dying. He just wants attention. You know what? Fuck that song, and I'm sorry I brought it up. How are you, everybody? All right, 60 Minutes, everybody. All right, hey, Bill. I saw your tweet about 60 Minutes about the talking robot piece. Yeah, Charlie Rose was sitting there talking to this artificial intelligent robot that really moved bad. Speaking of fucking Westworld, right? And he asked the robot what its goals were. First of all, that a robot would have goals like a person, okay? And the robot said, my goal is to one day be smarter than human beings. So I tweeted, I basically tweeted, please unplug that fucking thing. All right? So he goes, I come somewhere between unplug it and fuck it. It seems like everyone knows the machines will be our doom, but I feel like everyone involved and even everyone else just looking on has a, but will they take over type of curiosity. My question, I don't know what you meant by all that. My question to you is that if in 10 years the robots are filling in as clerks at stores or working the lobby of hotels, would you be comfortable as a customer in those locations? Also, I highly recommend the new Westworld remake on HBO. Yes, I thought that was Netflix. My fault. HBO. It's totally up your alley, and I'm sure you remember the original with good old Yul Brynner. How funny is that? Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. I already talked about it. I loved it. This is what I think. I actually think that that those robots will make human beings obsolete. I know that sounds fucking crazy, but they will, okay? And they don't have to sleep. They don't have to fucking do anything. They'll outwork us and all that type of shit. And they're going to act like then we finally get to sit around and chill out, right? Like that was the big promise of all of this technology that was going to be coming out in the future. I mean, there's always technology, but the newer technology, the technology of the future, the 3-day work week. They used to make fun of that on the Jetsons. Oh, these 3-day work weeks are brutal. People are working more than they have ever worked in their fucking lives in this race to, I don't even know what the fuck. Why the fuck? Can somebody please tell me what the fuck we need robots for? What do we need any of this shit for? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like somewhere in like the mid-90s, like that was good. We advanced enough with cars, travel. We advanced enough with medicine and that type of shit. I mean, basically from 1995 on, if you're fucking dying, then I mean, I don't know, the amount of shit that you could sidestep, tuberculosis, polio, all of these fucking things, all those plagues from back in the day, they were all gone. I mean, something, I don't know, it's hard when it's somebody you know and love, or obviously if it's fucking you, but like, I don't know. I think the population, I've always talked about it. It's a major fucking problem. And I don't know how they go, like, I just feel like those things will come along and they'll just be like, well, you have those things that don't need to, they don't need a flat screen TV. They don't need any of that type of shit. They can do the work of 10 people. Or let's say they can do the work of 4 people. Then there's 3 extra people out there, isn't there? Or there's 4 extra people out there. Let's fucking cut this thing down by 25%. I mean, there's already too many fucking people walking around. You can have a bunch of robots walking around too. At some point, something's got to give. All right? And I can guarantee you one thing. Robots are never forming a union. All right? They're not gonna. So I think they'll be smart enough to not get them to do that. But the greed of going after the dollar and making one that's just a little bit better, like these fucking iPhones, I think we could get ourselves into a tough situation. And here's a question I have. If you kill a robot in the future, like, is that going to be considered property damage? At what point will that actually be considered murder 1 or murder 2 or robot slaughter? They'll have to have all these new laws. You know what I mean? Like, what if they make them like what they're trying to do? Like, they probably going to make them fuckable at some point, like that fucking movie I saw like a year ago. You know, what if you go out and you fuck somebody else's robot? You know, like, hey, that's my robot. You just came in my fucking robot. What the fuck? Even though it's self-cleaning and all that shit, I can't fucking do that, right? You're just really opening up a fucking can of worms there. Do you know when I was in fucking high school, there was these 2 kids, right? These 2 rich kids. One of them got a fucking Pontiac Trans Am, like a brand new one, the F-body, you know, the one that everybody fucking loved in the 80s, the Knight Rider version. He got the fucking Trans Am. This kid was like a 16, 17-year-old kid. He had a brand new, like 85, 86 Trans Am. So the other rich kid's parents, they're like competing, bought this other kid a fucking 1985 or 1986 IROC Z. I mean, they were pulling up to the school. Their car was worth twice what their teacher's car was worth. I remember there was this teacher, foreign language teacher, and he had this giant boat from the early 70s, and the door lock was, like, the door wouldn't close. And to this day, there's no excuse for this guy not just getting the fucking door fixed. He fucking tied like a 1/4-inch rope around like the handle of the door and then like 15 times around his headrest. And he'd have to get out the fucking passenger's side. And one of the great things about getting old is you stop giving a fuck about what people think about you. But for the most part, that's a great thing. But in that instance, that was not a good thing. That was not a good thing for people to see, because being a teacher is a tremendous profession. But you can't show up in a piss yellow fucking boat that you got the fucking door tied to the headrest. I mean, as much as you love something, you want to be able to support a fucking family. I always thought, looking back years later, that there might have been a half dozen people that were considering being a teacher, myself one of them. And once you saw that, you're like, yeah, you know what? I don't think I want to do that. I don't want to walk around with a dirty sport coat having to get out the passenger side of my fucking car because I can't even afford to get the goddamn door lock fixed. You drove like 3 of the 4 years I was in high school. This guy would pull up in that fucking car. So anyways, these 2 kids got these cars, and so, of course, they're driving around like maniacs. Of course, everybody's drinking and driving. This was the 80s. This was like, this was some sort of, I don't know. It was an activity that was done. You went out, you found someone of age to buy you a case of beer, and then you just drove around town. There was nothing to do. You drove around town and tried to run into other kids you went to high school with, and they would be driving around, with the 12-pack in their car, and then you'd be like, where you going? And then you'd find some dead-end street, and you'd all go down there. And then the cops would come down and break it up. And then you'd drive around, and everybody would gather someplace else. It was weird. There was no cell phones, and somehow everybody figured out where the hell everyone was going. So long story short, the kid who had the Trans Am ended up fucking, going too fast, pushed it past the limit, and went flying into a bunch of trees. Fortunately, they were smaller trees, so the trees lost the battle, but he totaled his fucking car. That was right as we were graduating. So you know what his parents did? To teach him a lesson, they went out and they bought him a Corvette. So here's the thing. Now he's got the Corvette. He fucked up. He totaled his car. They went out and not only bought him a brand new car, they bought him an even better car. He had a Corvette. So now the other kid who didn't fuck up his car is now looking at his IROC like it's a piece of shit. So within 3 months, he then had a Corvette. And beyond, so he could one-up the other kid,
he had a custom interior. He had like all this wood put on the inside of it because the 80s Corvettes, the interior was unbelievably plain. And that was the last I ever saw of either one of them, because then I graduated. Except for the kid who got the custom Corvette. I ran into him in a bar about 2 years ago. And he was hammered and proceeded to say some of the most racist shit I've ever heard in my life. And I just sort of slowly backed away like, all right, buddy, see you in another 30 years.
Now, I got time for a quick iPhone story. So I got the iPhone 7 now, all right? And I want to thank everybody who tried to help me out with even the condescending ones or this new generation people who were saying they were cringing. Me and my boy, I had to tweet, my boyfriend works at the Apple store, and I work at the Apple store too, and we both cringing as we were listening to you talk about, like, why are you're cringing for, I wouldn't cringe for you. Like, if I watched you two geniuses try to change a fucking tire or drive a stick shift, as they say you millennials can't do, if that's the truth, I wouldn't cringe. I'd try to teach you how to do it. Cringing. I felt so bad. I was so awkward. I really think this whole generation, the reason why they're always using that term awkward is because they were so sheltered that I don't think that they kind of work shit out amongst themselves as kids the way we did. Now, granted, my generation was too far the other way. They didn't know what the fuck we were doing. And I think with millennials, there was an overcorrection. I think this next generation, they're going to get it right. It's like, you can't have them fucking joining, those groups where there's all these pedophiles. You know what they are. I am not going to say them. One rhymes with the rubs louts. The rub shouts. You also don't want to, when they're very young, it's probably not good to have them take I can't even say it right, a karate class, shit like that. The kinds of places, and then you can just say church groups. Church groups are another big one. You just can't have them fucking, but you have to let them play outside. You got to let them solve shit, interact with each other and shit like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think we went too far the other fucking direction. And I can say that having never had a child. So anyways, somebody told me that, when I sat there and I counted all my contacts, I didn't realize, and this is all shit that you guys can laugh at me about, but I know there's a lot of you, especially in my generation, do not know this. If you scroll down to the end of your contacts, it'll tell you how many you have. I was off by one. I said 113. I had 114. Who knew? Who the fuck knew? By the way, if you didn't use the cloud, getting all your contacts back, not a big deal. Not a big deal. It's just as you need the person's number, you're like, fuck, I don't have the number. Who do I know that knows him? You just, by then you have that person's number, and you gradually put it all back together again. It wasn't as bad as I thought. And then somebody gave me a great suggestion saying, well, there's these places you can go to that they can retrieve lost data or whatever the computer term is that. So I might try that with my phone. I have not turned it on since then. I'm going to try sometime like Tuesday morning. Hopefully I can turn it on and grab a couple. The guy who used to work on my truck, he moved to Arizona. And he recommended this great place here in California to tune it up and all that type of shit. And I lost his fucking number. And because he's a crazy car guy, like his website still has like a fucking California number. So I should probably just give it a try. But anyways, so I had to get the iPhone 7 because I fucked up my phone. I got it all wet and shit. And so now this one's waterproof, so they had this little fucking umbilical cord off of it, and I was sitting there going, there's no fucking way I'm not going to lose this thing. I have to be on my best behavior with this. So I was literally carrying that little cord around in the iPhone box with me while I was on the road because I was too paranoid to even leave it into the phone because I was afraid I'd go to put it in my pocket, it'd pop out, I wouldn't know, I don't know what. So I somehow make it across this country and back. I still have it. I went back to my house to use my gym, instead of finishing up the fucking kitchen, And I had it there. And I went to grab a few things, and I don't know. I got back to the place that I'm renting, and it was just gone. It was gone, and I started to have a meltdown, and I was just like, this drives your wife nuts. Don't do it. Don't fucking do it. And I tore apart everything, couldn't find it in the house. I drove back to my place. I couldn't find it there. And I just said, fuck this. And I drove over to the Apple store, and somewhere over there, I just got into this fucking Zen place. I was like, dude, this is 100% your fault. It's not Steve Jobs' fault. It's your fault. You should have just left the fucking thing in your phone. I'm sure you can pick up the phone and fucking shake it. And I'm sure nothing, I'm sure it probably doesn't even come out, because they probably already knew that was going to be a fucking concern. So I drive over there. I pull in. I just said, fuck it. I valet my old Prius, dirty as shit right now, because I still have to get the dents taken out from that fucking road rage cunt slammed into the person, 2 people behind me. So I just got that thing. It's got dents. I'm going to get pulled out while I get it washed. So it's really looking bad. So I pull in, and the valet place at the mall, they go like, yeah, what's your phone number? And I'm just like, yeah, none of your business. I go, I don't give out my phone number. That's what I used to say. Now I just go, I don't have a phone, because they're just going to call you. And they're just all of those things, by the way, all of those phone numbers and all of that shit. I'm telling you, it all gets bundled and it gets sold. There was a lobby. There was something going on in Washington where what they were saying, what I was saying, much more intelligently and written down on paper, saying that you ought to get a piece of it. If somebody's going to sell your information, shouldn't you get a cut? Right? 10%, something. I'm sure that got shot down. But anyways, so I just pull up and I just say, yeah, I don't have a cell phone. So then they just take your name down, and there's always ways to get around it. You just say, yeah, no, I can't do that, right? So I go into the Apple store, and I walk up to one of the geniuses, and I said, yeah, hey, I need the little fucking umbilical cord. And they said, that right there over there on the wall. And I just walked up, and I grabbed 5 of them. Okay? I grabbed 5 of them, and I grabbed this other cord where it was, where you can plug it into your phone, and someone else can also plug their headphones in while you plug your headphones in, and you can both listen to the same song. Now, I did that because whenever I'm on a plane, he's always like, listen to this song. Isn't this a great song? And I was just like, I'll get that one for her, right? So I walk up to one of the dudes with the fucking iPad, and I just say, yeah, hey, I want to buy these, right? So they're all looking at me like, what the fuck, right? Why do you have so many? It was 2 geniuses and one of the people who was just trying to buy some shit there. And one of them finally goes to me, goes, I got to ask you, how come you're buying 5 of these? And I was like, because I know what kind of a moron I am. And the dude was like, what? I go, everybody's a moron, so you got to include me. So you got to figure out what kind of moron you are. So I'm the kind of moron that's going to lose at least 4 of these in a year. So I'm getting 5. And they all fucking laughed. And I joked, and I somehow was able to joke my way through the whole fucking experience. I kept it light, and I didn't lose my shit. Except when I got into it with that one guy. I forgot when I was driving back. This guy came barreling up the street, and I live on a street where it's one of those streets where it's like it should be one way, but it's 2-way. And he came flying up, and I was rushing over, so I just had to slam on the brakes. I just kind of gestured like, really, dude? And I back up, and then he pulls up alongside me. His big fucking Jaguar. And he goes, yes, is there a problem? I go, yeah, man. I try to stay calm. I go, yeah, man. I go, you're driving too fast through the neighborhood here, blah, 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 blah. He goes, I go, it's a one-way street. He goes, it isn't a one-way street. I go, yeah, but with the cars parked, I go, you're coming through here like 30, 40 miles an hour. He goes, this car won't go 40, which I don't even know what that means. Won't go 40 on this street. I have no idea. I was just like, dude, there's kids on this street. And then I lied. I go, dude, I have a kid. Just trying to make my argument better. He goes, I got 3 kids. And he holds up the fingers, too. Like, I all right. And then he just said something. He goes, now do you feel stupid? That's what he said to me. He goes, now do you feel stupid? And I wish I could go back to that moment and just say to him, like, dude, I always feel stupid. But this has nothing to do with that. Dude, you're driving like a fucking maniac. You got 3 kids. Yeah, I bet they don't live on this street, you cunt. And I was trying, because I've done this before with people on that street. I just speak in a slow tone, just going, dude, I got kids. I just lie, and I say I got kids, plural. Just totally lie out my ass. The reality is I don't want to have a head-on collision with somebody. So last couple times I did it, even like the young punk kids and shit, with the fucking hats that match their fucking shoelaces, even then they feel, all right, cool. All right, sorry. You're like, yeah, cool, no problem, And this guy just wasn't having it. He just goes, now do you feel stupid? And then once he said that, go fuck yourself. And we both fucking drove away. So that did happen on the way over this. So anyway, I go to buy all of these fucking things and I'm making fun of myself. Because, guys, I'm really trying not... I mean, it's funny when I do it on stage. It's not funny when I do it in real life or around the house. I'm really trying to work on my temper. So I was making fun of myself, going, yeah, I'm the kind of fucking moron that's going to lose 4 of these in a year, so I'm buying 5. So they all laugh. And the guy's like, all right. And I go, what's that going to be, like $7,000? And he said, no, it was like $75 or something. For these little ass fucking wires, 5 of them, like 25 a whack or 20 a whack, whatever the fuck it was. But plus I had the other thing. So I go to open my wallet to take out my credit card, and what is sitting in the fold of my wallet is the fucking attachment I couldn't find. I must have put it in the same pocket, and I just left. I go, see, right here, look at this. There it is. Now I got 6. I'm a fucking moron. They were just all laughing. It made me feel good. Even though they were laughing at me, it just made me feel better that, I don't know. I gotta learn how to fucking do that, man, because I am a lot. I'm funny on a podcast. I'm funny for an hour. But after that, dude, I can be a lot to live with. So anyways, I'm working on myself. I'm actually considering going to speak to somebody. And, because I swear to God, like I have 2 things I want to do. I want to just actually sit down and maybe read some instructions on my iPhone and actually make it something that I can use. And computers, actually maybe learn about them rather than screaming to anyone who listen about robots and being microchipped, And then also I would like to if I could just have the same sense of humor I have about big shit. When big shit happens, I do not flip out. Little shit happens, like I lost a fucking little cord on my phone, I fucking lose my shit. So if I can just somehow, not lose my shit in the car and the technology thing, those are my 2 biggest fucking goals. If I could just laugh my way through that shit, I'd be a much better person. I think I'd be a lot easier to deal with, and I'll just go after it the way I go after other shit. I've never really tried to fucking like full on try to fix my temper the way I try to lose weight, work out, play drums,